Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi, Saṅghaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Vividena passati vipassana, visheshena passati vipassana. Friends, this is the fourth day of our retreat, fourth talk. For this talk, we want to talk about Vipassana. As we practice Vipassana from this morning, we want to know better, we want to understand what Vipassana is. Vipassana means see through. Vipassana, passati to see. Vipassati, see through, penetrate. Or you see vividly, categorically, not as a block, not as blocks. We normally see things as blocks, see things heap, blocks. We do not try to categorize, we do not try to analyze things. You have to demolish things, mentally demolish things, and categorize, analyze things mentally. Then we can see there is nothing permanent. Then we can see things are changing. Since we do not see this, we grasp things as mine, me, myself. Vividena passati means vividly, categorically, see vividly, categorically. Visheshena passati, vishesha means specially, especially. You see something specially, that is penetrate. When you see especially, what can you see? You can see things as they are. That is called yatha bhuta. Things as they are, yatha bhuta. Yatha bhuta jnana darsana. The knowledge and vision as they really are. That is through our wisdom, through our vipassana, through our meditation. This is the teaching, this is the unique teaching that the Buddha taught us, which is unique in this sasana. So the Buddha taught us to see things as they are. When you see things as they are, what can you see? You can see three marks, three characteristics. What are the three marks? Anicca, dukkha, anatta. Anicca. Nicca means permanent. Nicca means permanent. Something permanent. Entity, substance. Anicca, no nicca. Anicca means no nicca. Anicca. Impermanent. Nothing permanent. Nothing constant. So, impermanent, that is anicca. Then you can see dukkha. Dukkha means it is difficult to bear. What is difficult to bear? Change in nature. Things are changing. We don't want to see things changing. Like we don't want to see aging. Whether we like or not, we become aged, old age. We don't want to see our mom aged, old mom. We want to keep her young, beautiful mom. But changing, aging. Not only mom, dad, we ourselves. Everybody is changing. Everybody is changing. Everybody becomes old age. We don't like that. That is what is dukkha. It is the result of birth. The Buddha said, Jatipi dukkha. Jati, the birth is dukkha. Jarapi dukkha, aging is dukkha. Vyadipi dukkho, sickness is dukkha. Vyadipi dukkho, maranampi dukkhang, death is dukkha. Appyehi sampayogo dukkho, associating with dislike person is dukkha. Pyehi vipayogo dukkho, dissociation from liked one is dukkha. Yampichang nalabati sampi dukkha, like that. Buddha gave a list of things called dukkha. So dukkha, we can see dukkha as a characteristic in everything. If we grasp things, if we don't grasp, no dukkha. The problem is grasping, clinging, upadana. Why upadana comes to be? Because of craving. Tanha pacca upadana. It is because of tanha, it is because of craving, we cling to things. When we cling to things, what happens? Upadana pacca bhava. Existence comes to be. Bhava pacca jati. Like that. The whole mass of suffering comes to be. So then, we can see anicca, dukkha and anatta. Anatta. Anatta means no atta. No atta. Atta means permanent thing. Anatta means no atta. There are two terms, atta and attha. This also to be understood. Atta and attha. A-T-T-A is one. The other one is A-T-T-H-A. Attha. Atta, A-T-T-A. Atta means self. Either self or soul. Atta. Attha means either meaning, like what is the meaning? Attang. Kimatto Bhante. Bhante, what is the meaning? Kim atto Bhante. That is how you ask the question in Pali. Kimatto Bhante. Bhante, what is the meaning? Attha there. And another meaning is Nibbana. Attha is attang. Attha means Nibbana. Attang gatasana pamana matti. The one who has entered the realm of Nibbana has no measure. No measure. You can't measure the person. Like that. Attha means either meaning or Nibbana. So, no atta. Anatta means no atta. That means no permanent entity. So, we can see anicca, dukkha, anatta. These are the things that we can see when we see truth, when we see things as they really are. The Buddha saw things as they are, and he taught us to see things as they are. In his very first discourse, Dhamma Chakka Pavattana Sutta, Buddha said, as he realized the Four Noble Truths, he realized the Four Noble Truths in 3 paces, and 12-fold. 12-fold and 3 paces. Buddha said then the Buddha said, Imesu Chatusu Arya Satchesu. In this 4 Noble Truths, Imesu Chatusu Arya Satchesu, Evang Tiparivattang. Tiparivatta means 3 paces. He realized the Four Noble Truths in 3 paces, 3 circles. 3 circles. That is, 3 phases. Triparivattam. Dvadasakarang. Dvadasakarang means 12-fold. So he realized the 4 noble truths in 3 phases and 12-fold way. So I don't want to explain all this now. If we need, we can discuss later. So where he said, Eva Triparivattam Dvadasakarang Yatha Bhutang. That is the point. That is what I want to emphasize. Yatha Bhutang. Yatha Bhuta means as it is. As it is. Not as it appears to be, but as it is. He realized the Dhamma. Then Buddha taught us to see things as they really are. First we have to see things as they are within ourselves. We have to see our eye as it is, as it really is. We have to see the ear as it is, nose as it is, tongue as it is, body as it is, mind as it is. Then we have to see the external objects as they are. These are called internal bases. 6 internal bases. Then external bases are also to be seen as it is, as they are. Then we have to see consciousness as they are. 6 consciousness, 6 classes of consciousness. Then contact as they are, feelings as they are, craving as they are, like that. Things as they really are. In the Satipatthana Sutta, Buddha says, Chakkuncha pajanati rupecha pajanati yancha tadubayam paticca uppajjati sanyojanang tancha pajanati. Pajanati means know it well. You know it well, you see it. Know means not theoretically. This is see. Chakkuncha pajanati. You realize when you meditate the 4 establishments of mindfulness. Once you practice the first 3, the 4th one, when you come to the 4th one, you realize Dhamma. You realize 5 aggregates. You realize 12 bases. This is where the Buddha talk about 12 bases. Internal bases and external bases. Internal 6, external 6. You to understand internal 6 and external 6, though they exist, no problem. The problem is there is a fetter. There's a fetter between the two. Yancha tadubayang paticca uppajjati arises sanyojanam fetter. There arises a fetter. Fetter is the problem. So, understand this fetter also. In such a way, the Buddha explained how to realize these 12 bases. Then, in the Samyukta Nikaya, the connected discourses, Buddha said, referring to the 6 senses, Buddha said, Chakkung bhikkhave aniccang yada niccang tang dukkhang yang dukkhang tadanatta. Don't worry, don't be afraid of Pali. I explain the meaning. I want to use Pali. Without Pali, simply giving Dhamma, simply talking, are just like cock and bull stories. Dhamma is to be understood with the very word of the Buddha. So, Buddha said, Chakkung bhikkhave aniccang. Bhikkhave monks. Chakku, the eye, is anicchang, impermanent. Monks, this eye is impermanent. Referring to these six senses. Eye is impermanent. Yada nichang, whatever is impermanent, tang dukkhang, it is dukkha. Whatever is anicca, it is dukkha. Yada nichang, tang dukkhang. Tang yang dukkhang. Then says yang dukkha. You see how this logically, even logically, they are quite well fitted, well matched. Whatever is impermanent, it is unsatisfactory. Then says, whatever is unsatisfactory, it is anatta. It is without a self, no self, non-self. Yan dukkhang tadanatta. Yadanatta, then says yadanatta. Whatever is anatta, that is to be understood as it is with proper wisdom, with developed wisdom. That is very important. With developed wisdom. That wisdom is the wisdom that we gain by practicing Vipassana. When you practice Vipassana in this manner, you are developing your wisdom. It is not simply concentration. This is wisdom. You give your attention. You try to understand your eye. Really, try to give attention and understand eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind. Then you understand their impinge, their concomitant things, like 6 sets of 6. Then you can understand the 5 aggregates as they are. This is through your wisdom. So, when you develop this wisdom, you can understand anatta as anatta. It is with proper wisdom. Buddha said, that is to be understood with proper wisdom. Samma panyaya datthabbang. Samma panya is well developed, proper wisdom. With wisdom you to understand. Referring to 5 aggregates, Buddha says, Samahito bhikkhu yatha bhutang pajanati. In the Samyukta again, connected discourses. Yat samahito bhikkhu, practice, develop, concentrate. When the mind is concentrated, you can see things as they are. Samahito bhikkhu yatha bhutang pajanati, you see as they are. Then Buddha says, what can you see as they are? Kincha yatha bhutang pajanati. What can you see as they are? Rupasya samudayancha attagamancha. That is what you see. You can see this rupa, this form. Rupasya samudayancha. You can see the arising nature of rupa, this form. And attangamant. Attagamant is passing, rising and perishing. You can see the origination of form and cessation of form. That is the meaning. Then Vedanaya samudayancha attagamancha. Vedana, feeling. You can see the origination and the cessation of feelings. Sanyaya samudayancha attagamancha. You can see the origination of perception and the cessation of perception. Sankharanang samudayancha attagamancha. You can see the origination of sankhara, the formations, and the cessation of formations. Vijnanasya samudayancha attagamancha. You can see the origination of consciousness I am the cessation of consciousness. This is how the Buddha said. The origination, then the Buddha said, what is the origination? Origination is you delight this. You delight this rupa. Delight this form. You like it. This is the origin. This is the cause. You like, you delight, you appreciate this form. Don't you? Don't we? What we do when we go to the front of the mirror? What we do when we see others? We delight. We are happy. Delight this rupa. When we delight, what happens? Cling to. Clinging. Upadana. Then you know what happens. Upadana pacca bhava, bhava pacca jati, jati pacca jara, marana, soka, parideva, dukkha, domana, supayasa, whole mass of suffering comes to be. It is because of delight. Buddha said, if you do not delight, it is opposite. If you do not delight, you do not cling to. No upadana. If there is no upadana, no bhava, no jati like that, the whole mass of suffering comes to cease. This is how the Buddha said about these 5 aggregates. So these are to be understood through meditation. No other tools to understand these 5 aggregates. This well advanced technology, science and technology, through science and technology, we can understand this form, matter, but not the other parts of the 5 aggregates. We can understand, through science we can understand this form for some extent. Form can form. But what about feelings, perception, volitional formation, consciousness? Can we understand these 4 aggregates through science, scientific innovations? For some extent, yes, but it is quite impossible, because these are not matter. These 4 are quite mental. Therefore, it is quite impossible to understand these 5 aggregates through science. Only through meditation. Only through meditation. That is why, friends, we have to understand this Dhamma and practice meditation. Then we can understand our own nature. First our own nature and then others as well, other things as well. If we see ourselves, the Buddha said, this is the world. You are the world. If you see the world, the origination of the world, cessation of the world, and the path leading to the cessation of the world is here, within. If you understand the 4 elements here, you can understand whatever composed with 4 elements. All things are made of 4 elements. All things, whatever called matter, all things. If you see 4 elements here within, you see 4 elements on the outside as well. If you see consciousness here within, you can see the consciousness outside as well. Other beings, whatever beings, the consciousness of other beings. You can understand that all beings have consciousness. That you can understand. So, Buddha taught us to understand this, our own nature. Buddha taught the Dhamma. That is why this Dhamma is called a humanistic religion. Humanistic, based on humans. This Dhamma is based on humans. So, Buddha taught this Dhamma. Once, You know, the Buddha, after his attainment of enlightenment, he delivered his first sermon 2 months after his attainment of enlightenment. Then he observed 3 months arranged residence, Vipassana. After that, during that time, there were 60 monks in the Sasana, 60 Arahants. Then the Buddha dispatched them, sent them as missionaries. He sent them to different directions to teach the Dhamma and meditation. And then he himself went to the place called Uruvela. The Buddha went to this place, Uruvela, called Magadha. That area is by that time called Magadha. That is how Magadhi was. Magadhi, the language also came to be as the dialect of the time. So the Buddha, as his charika, as his daily routine, sort of Buddha went from house to house begging in the morning. One day he went from house to house begging, and when it was evening, he went to another place to meet different persons and teach the Dhamma. On his way, while he was going from place to place, as it was evening, Buddha wanted to spend that night in a particular place of a potter. A potter's shop. That was hut. You know, the potters in India, potters, they make pots. They have very simple huts. So the Buddha went to this man's place. His name was Bhaggava. He asked Bhaggava, "Can I spend this night in your hut?" The potter's hut. He was the potter. So, "Can I spend this night in your hut?" Then he said, "Yes, for me it is all right, but there's another contemplative one, another recluse like you who came earlier, and he is there now. You better go and ask him. If he is all right, you both can share the hut." So the Buddha went to that place, and he asked whether he could stay there. That person also said it was okay. So both of them just sat there, spreading some grass. They both sat there and they started to meditate. So that person who had come earlier, he was meditating one corner. The Buddha himself sat another corner, and they both started to practice. While they were practicing, when it was midnight, Buddha saw this person was practicing very well. Then Buddha wanted to inquire who he was. The Buddha went closer and asked him who he was, and he said that he was Pukkusati. His name was Pukkusati. Buddha asked, "Whose Dhamma you follow? Who is your teacher?" Then he said, when asked, "Who is your teacher?" he said, "My teacher is the Buddha who has gone forth from Sakyan clan and attained Buddhahood. He is my teacher. I follow the Buddha's Dhamma," he said. Then Buddha asked, "Have you ever seen Buddha?" Then he said, "No, I have never seen him." Then, "If you see him, can you recognize him?" He said, "Perhaps not." So then Buddha said, "Well, I can give you some more instructions for your meditation." Then the Buddha taught him the Dhamma. Buddha started saying, Bhikkhu, Buddha addressed him Bhikkhu, Bhikkhu, Chaddaturo ayang Bhikkhu Puriso. This is how the Buddha said, Chaddaturo ayang Bhikkhu Puriso, Bhikkhu. This so-called man, Chaddatu, this man means 6 kinds of dhatu, elements. So man means 6 kinds of elements. Chaddaturo ayam bhikkhu puriso. Cha passayatano, he has 6 classes of contact. Cha passayatano, he has 6 classes of contact. Cha passayatano. Attarasa manopavichara, he has 18 places where the mind is examining. Mind examines 18 different places. Attarasa manopa vichara. Chatura ditthano, if he has determination on 4 things, if he has no clinging, thinking this is mine, this is me, like that, if he has no such clinging, he will be the sage at peace. See, he will be a sage at peace. This is the instructions given by the Buddha. So here the Buddha said, this man means 6 elements. What are the 6 elements? Earth, water, fire, air, space and consciousness. These are the 6 elements. Not only man. All beings are made of this, composed of these 6 elements. That is how we to understand. Then we all have 6 classes of contact. What are the 6 classes of contact? When we have I and form, there arises consciousness. Now, when consciousness arises, it is called I consciousness. So, I, form and I consciousness, these 3 come together. That meeting of the 3 is called contact. Meeting of the 3 is called contact. That is called then eye contact. Likewise, ear, sound, ear consciousness. Meeting of the 3 is called contact. Nose, smell, nose consciousness. Meeting of the 3 is called contact. That is nose contact. Then tongue, taste and consciousness. That is called tongue consciousness. Meeting of the 3 is contact. Then body, tangible object and consciousness. Meeting of the 3 is called contact. That is body contact. Then mind, mental object and mental consciousness, mind consciousness, which is called meeting of the 3 is called contact. So in such a way we have 6 classes of contact. Then Buddha explained him 18 types of places where mind is examining. What are these 8? Now when we have contact, as the result of contact, feeling arises. Passapacha Vedana. Buddha said, Passapacha Vedana. Depend on contact, feeling arises. When we have feeling, there are 3 types of feeling. So to I, there are three types of feeling. So mind is examining these 3 types of feeling. Happy feeling, unhappy feeling and neutral feeling. Mind is examining these 3. That is, so through eye there are 3. Through ear there are 3. Through nose there are 3. Like that, 3 multiplied by 6, 18. That is how 18 places of examining comes to be, come to be. So then the Buddha further said, if he has 4 determination, what are the 4 determination? Buddha said, Panya, wisdom is to be developed. One should develop wisdom. For that, one has to have determination. And Satya, the truth is to be protected. Then generosity is to be developed. And peace should be maintained. These 4 things. You have to have determination to do these things. Such a person, if he has no clinging, if he has no grasping with the idea of mine, me, myself, he will be a sage at peace. In this manner, the Buddha taught him the Dhamma. When it was dawn, he realized that it was the Buddha in front of him, none other than the Buddha. So he realized and he respected the Buddha and asked forgiveness as he addressed the Buddha friend. So Buddha pardoned him, and then he wanted to be a disciple of the Buddha, wanted to be a monk. He asked the ordination. Then Buddha said, better you go get robe and bowl, prepare the robe and bowl. So he went seeking robe and bowl. On his way he was attacked by a cow, and he died on the spot. After that, the monks came to the Buddha and asked about his destination. After his passing, the Buddha said he was a wise person, and he, as he realized Dhamma, he cut off lower fetters, first 5 fetters, and he was born in pure abodes, which is called the state of non-returner, anagami. So this is how the Buddha taught us the real nature of ourselves. We have to understand this Dhamma in this manner. When we understand this manner, we can understand our own nature. Another occasion the Buddha taught us is a very classic example. It is one of the best discourses to understand Vipassana. That is called 6 sets of 6. Everybody should read this. Every Buddhist should read this discourse. This is the best, as I see, this is the best discourse to understand Vipassana. I always talk about this and practice and recommend everybody to read this discourse and understand this discourse. Let's understand this discourse as well. I don't want to explain whole discourse, but I would like to share with you the gist of it, the summary of it. Buddha, addressing the monks, said, monks, I am going to teach you the Dhamma. You see, that is how the Buddha addressed the monks. I am going to teach you the Dhamma, which is excellent in the beginning, excellent in the middle, excellent in the end. Adi kalyanang, majje kalyanang, pariyosana kalyanang. Excellent Dhamma. Adi kalyanam, majje kalyanam, pariyosana. Satang, with meaning, clear meaning. Sabvyanjanang, clear praises. Meaning and praises. Clearly, Buddha wanted to say clearly this Dhamma, with clear meaning and praising. Sattang Savvanya, Kevala Paripunna, utterly pure Dhamma, utterly perfect and pure. Utterly perfect and pure Dhamma. This is Vipassana. That's why he said, this is utterly perfect Dhamma, utterly perfect and pure. That is Kevala Paripunnam, Parishuddham. What is then that Dhamma? 6 sets of 6. 6 sets of 6. This is the Dhamma. This is Vipassana. If we see these 6 sets of 6, if we understand these 6 sets of 6 as they are, we can attain enlightenment. That is the wonder in this Dhamma. So the Buddha said 6 internal bases should be understood. Referring to this clear Dhamma, 6 internal bases should be understood. Cha ajjattikani ayatanani veditabbani. Then 6 external bases should be understood. 6 classes of consciousness should be understood. Then said 6 classes of contact should be understood. Then said 6 classes of feeling should be understood. 6 classes of craving should be understood. 6 things. Again, 6 internal, 6 external, 6 consciousness, 6 contact, 6 feeling, and 6 craving. 6 things, 6 classes to be understood. Then 6 sets of 6 means this. There are 6 things here. What are the 6? Eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind internal. Then external, form, sound, smell, taste, tangible object and mental object. Then consciousness, eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness and mind consciousness. Then contact, eye contact, ear contact, nose contact, tongue contact, body contact, mind contact. Then feeling, eye feeling, ear feeling, nose feeling, tongue feeling, body feeling, mind feeling. Then craving, eye craving, ear craving, nose craving, tongue craving, body craving, mind craving. This craving. So all these 6 called 6 sets of 6 to be understood. Then the Buddha said, monks, if anyone says, this I is self. You see, this is how the Buddha explained, how the Buddha teaches Dhamma clearly. If anyone says, this I is self, it is not tenable. It is not possible. Why? I has the nature of arising. It arises. I arises. There is an origination of I. There is a cessation of I. I arises and it perishes. I has beginning and end. It comes and goes. I is not permanent. Since I has these 2 characteristics, it rises and falls. Then, if you say I is self, self has these 2 characteristics. Self itself is arising and perishing. You got it? If anyone says the I is permanent, I is arising and perishing. If as I is arising and perishing, if one says I is soul or self itself is arising, perishing. Therefore, I is not self. You cannot say I is self. It is not tenable. It is not possible, Buddha said. Not only I. Ear, nose, tongue, body and mind, all this. If one says this is what is self, it is not tenable. It is impossible. Buddha explained all the 6 sets. All 6 sets. Buddha said, no self in these things. Then the Buddha pointed out the arising nature or the origination of personality. Sakkaya Samudaya Gamini. The nature of arising or the origination of Sakkaya. Sakkaya means self-identity, personality. We personalize ourselves. How this personalization comes to be? The Buddha said, when one takes this eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and mind, these 36 factors as mine, me, myself, etang mama, eso hamasmi, eso me atta. If you grasp this as mine, me and myself, that is the origination of Sakkaya. That is the origination of personalization. Personality belief. You personalize. Then the Buddha taught us, he taught us the cessation of personalization. Depersonalization. What is that? If you do not see this as mine, me, myself, netang mama, neso hamasmi, neso me atta. This I is not mine, I is not me, I is not myself. Ear is not mine, not me, not myself. Nose is not mine, not me, not myself. Like that. The same thing. We have to apply. Likewise, like we apply this to 5 aggregates now, we have to apply the same thing to these 6 sets of 6. 36. We have to apply, this is not mine, not me, not myself. This is impermanent, unsatisfactory, without a self, soulless, to all these 36. I is not mine, not me, not myself. I is impermanent, unsatisfactory, without a self, or soulless. Then form is not mine, not me, not myself. Like that. We have to apply these 6 factors. You have to understand these 6 factors. When we apply, when we practice, there are 3 levels. First level is, we have to verbalize it. We have to sort of verbalize it. That is, when we say verbalize, as practitioners, we don't say it loudly. We have to repeat it. We have to repeat it. Then we have to reflect on these things. Reflection. We have to reflect. We have to compare these things, reflect on these things. And third level is, we have to let it to realize. That is the realization level. Where we don't use any word. We simply give attention and try to understand. Through wisdom, we observe it. As we have proper wisdom, we can realize that it is not mine, not me, not myself. Then we can realize this I is not mine. Why? It has its own nature. It not belongs to me. It belongs to other things. What are the other things? It belongs to Nama and Rupa, physicality and mentality. I arises why? I arises because of Nama Rupa. So I belongs to Nama Rupa, not me. You can realize like that. things belong to something else. There are causes. Like that, 6 senses come to be because of Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa Pachya Salayatanam. Dependent on physicality and mentality, 6 senses come to be. Like that, we can realize the Dhamma. That is the realization. That is the realization. So friends, here the Buddha taught us the Dhamma in this manner, and Buddha further said, monks, when I and form, when there is I, when there is form, there arises I consciousness. Meeting of the three is contact. When there is contact, then there arises feeling. When there is feeling, there are 3 types of feeling. Pleasant feeling, painful feeling, and neither pain nor pleasant feeling. 3 types of feeling. Now, Buddha says, when there is pleasant feeling, we delight, we admire it, we welcome it. Where underlying tendency to lust arises and lies there. Underlying tendency means subtle tendencies, subtle impurities. Where subtle impurities arises, impurity arises and lies there. That is why it is called anusaya. They are called anusaya. Raga anusayo anusayati. Raga anusaya. Underlying tendency to lust arises and lies there. When there is painful feeling, we don't like it. Sorrow. And we we don't like. We sort of repulse. We have repulsion. We sometimes beat the breast and cry because we don't like. Where we have aversion. Aversion. Underlying tendency to aversion arises and lies there. Then, when we have neutral, sort of neutral feeling, what happens? We are not mindful. If we are not mindful, what happens? We are ignorant. Avijja. Avijja anusayo anusayati. Avijja means ignorance. Avijja anusayo. Underlying tendency to ignorance arises and lies there. So, 3 types of feeling are not the way to the attainment of enlightenment, even though 3 types feelings. These 3 types of feelings should be understood. Buddha said, monks, if anyone says, without destroying these underlying tendencies to lust, hatred, and delusion, ignorance. Without destroying this, if anyone says that one can attain enlightenment, it is impossible. But if one says that destroying, completely eradicating these 3 types of underlying tendencies, if one can attain enlightenment, if one say can attain enlightenment, it is possible. In this manner, the Buddha taught this Dhamma, this wonderful Dhamma, which is called 6 sets of 6. So friends, when the Buddha taught this Dhamma, the monks feel elated. They were delighted with the word of the Buddha, and the monks, it is said at the end of the sutta, it is said 60 monks attain full enlightenment, attain liberation, arahanthood. That is why I say this is the best discourse to understand what Vipassana is. Let's all understand this Dhamma. Let's try to understand Vipassana and try to practice this Vipassana. In order to practice Vipassana, please do not forget that Samatha, concentration. Concentration is important. Without concentration, we cannot switch to insight. Therefore, practice Vipassana, practice Samatha first, then whenever possible, switch to insight. Switch to insight means try to see the change in nature of your Samatha object. Try to see the change in nature of the object of your meditation. Whenever you see the change in nature, you are switching to insight. Vipassana. So Vipassana is the uniqueness in this sasana, the unique teaching of the Buddha. That is the gift, the greatest gift that the Buddha has given us for humanity. Therefore, let's all understand this wonderful Dhamma. Let's all practice and try to realize this Dhamma. As we all practice this Dhamma, one day we should be able to realize this Dhamma, this real Dhamma, and realize this real Dhamma and attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. May we all realize real peace and attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.